did you guys think?
I liked it.
It's very fun.
It made me laugh way more than I thought it was going to.
Yeah. It like took a while to get into it, but that sudden tone shift like halfway through, I was cracking up. I literally just sent Ben clips of it because I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah, that first part where like all of them are just kind of convening at oh god, I watched it so long ago now that I'm kind of forgetting like the names. What's the name of her husband? Her husband for 5 minutes.
Um, is it
Ivan?
Ivan?
Yeah.
Yvonne?
Yes.
Von-
I have Igor and Garnick are the two like bodyguard guys. So I think Ivan must be the
Igor.
boy. Igor.
My man Igor. Yeah, I watched it with Tony, and it was like from the get go. Tony was like, "Get you an Igor." He was like, "I know this guy's gonna be cool as fuck," and he was. But
Yeah.
yeah, but when that first like that initial meeting between everyone, and she's just like kind of um I just like arguing with the other guy, that other bodyguard guy, and and then oh my god, what are all their names? The guy that shows up, who's like driving in the SUV, and he shows up and he's yelling and he's like calling her a slut and shit, and it was just like so much chaos like so suddenly. And I
Poros. I had
yeah,
to look it up. Oh,
yeah,
they're so good. I just love that like each of them took turns with the like, you got to be careful with her. She's gonna hurt you. And they're like, no, she's just a girl. Just like let her go. And it was like one after another.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, I was a little worried in the beginning. The tone was so serious. I was like, it's still, I thought it'd still be a good movie, but um, they kept just like really leaning into Yvonne being like super immature and young, and they had that one
mhm.
conversation about like how old he was, and he was really cagey about it. I was so worried that the plot twist was going to be that like he's 17 or something like that.
Yeah,
I didn't know where it was going, and I like genuinely that's half of my notes for the first half where I was like, I hope that this doesn't get weird,
yeah.
and it didn't,
Thankfully.
thankfully.
I thought I saw other stuff by this director and before, but I guess I haven't. He's also known for the Florida Project, which I feel like also won Oscars in the past. Because that sounds familiar. I've just never seen it.
Willem Dafoe. I don't know that I've ever heard of this. I like that his whole lineup is like the same vibe though.
Hmm.
All of these like title cards, they look like they belong together.
Very colorful, and like I think the font is kind of similar to in a lot of
Oh
the
yeah.
movie posters.
It's all like a fountain pen script.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, it was quite good. I would definitely watch another of his movies. I also thought that the acting was super good. Anora especially, I thought was just like
Mm-hmm.
she killed it.
It took me a while to remember where I've seen her before. Have you guys seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Oh, yeah. Is she one
Yeah.
of the is she
She's
one of the
like one of
cultists?
the Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like Brad Pitt throws like a can of soup at her head or something like that in the end. She just gets fucking nailed with it. But yeah, I was like, she looks familiar because I feel like she's got a very distinct face.
Mhm.
And then when I looked her up, I saw that, and then Tony also reminded me too because he was like, I've seen her somewhere before because he's a lot better with faces, even like more indistinct faces than I I can recognize ever. But he like pointed it out, and I was like, yeah, I don't what have we seen her in before? And then that movie came up, and we're just like, yeah, she got pegged in the face with with like a can of soup.
She's not the girl. She's not the feet girl, right? That's
No, I think
someone
that's Margaret
else.
Qualley. I think she's the one from The
Yeah.
Substance.
Mhm. I was like, I knew there was an overlap there, and I couldn't remember who played what.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, she was super good. I thought like I don't know, she played a lot of different tones, and I thought she nailed all of them. Like in the beginning when she's really just like kind of a uh like sex worker trying to get by and make ends meet and do what she's got to do. It's like I understand what like her motivation. I feel like she's very sympathetic while also still just being like I don't know. You could see why her like one coworker kind of hated her too, though. And then even with her relationship with the main guy too, I thought was really good, and that like she came across as someone who clearly had married him for his money, but was like trying to make the best of the situation. Yeah, I thought she was super good.
Yeah. I love the acting all around. I don't especially like those very like high stress scenes where they're all yelling and I'm just like it's so it goes on for so long that I'm just
Mhm.
like how did they get all of them were so great in tandem together because they really were like very enthusiastic of it. You could feel how tense it is and you can feel how like stressed out everyone is and even sometimes too because like they'll have those conversations and then they'll all be in the car and they'll just be like quiet because they're just like where's Yvonne, like we need to find this motherfucker
Yeah.
or sometimes it's just like it's just something will happen and I'm like oh what the fuck like when that one not Igor but the other one just like starts throwing up in the
Yeah.
passenger
Oh.
seat.
Oh.
I was
Yeah.
like oh my god, that was wild to me.
Oh. I saw this really good. I was like looking up people's comments and reviews and stuff, and I saw this really good. They took like stills from throughout the movie, and I kind of wondered because in the very beginning they have that one shot where Igor's already sitting on one end of the couch and then she's sitting on the other end, and it's like a very wide shot of it. Um, and I remember thinking that was like an interesting setup, but then someone took stills from throughout the movie of the two of them like physically being put closer and closer together as the movie goes on, which I thought was a really cool uh I don't know how intentional of a choice it was. Like I don't know if this person was like picking and choosing their shots a ton,
Mhm.
but it looked intentional. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah. What do you think, Riley?
Yeah, I liked it. I was trying to think of like if I had any like favorite scenes or moments or something. I think the part that I one of the parts I liked was like when the I'm trying to remember what started it, but it's basically one of those Russian guys in the when he's like in the church doing like a baptism or something,
Oh
Mhm.
and
yeah.
then he gets the call that he has to go fuck with these guys or something, and he's like having to leave. I can't remember like what he. I think he like does he like try not to leave right away, and then he's like at some point he's just like okay I have to go, or he's like on the
He's
phone
like
doing a baptism.
yeah, he's like clearly checking his texts while like holding a baby that's about to be baptized.
Yeah, I liked that.
Uh,
Yeah, that guy
he
was
was
so
so
funny.
he cracked me up.
Like when he also they were like at the pier and he they were like towing his car and he was getting into that
That
argument
was
with the guy, the
crazy.
tow truck guy. Oh, I couldn't stop laughing at that point either because he was just I don't know. It was like he was running around like a chicken with his head cut off for
Mhm.
like 90% of that movie. And I felt like it wasn't just like just comedic relief, but it was like you could tell like why he was there. His purpose was he was in charge of Ivan, and he knew that he was going to be in so much trouble if he didn't for like one find out where he was, two get the marriage annulled or whatever, and then all that stuff. And so I just like I felt his stress, but also at the same time I could not help but just laugh at his predicaments like throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean they set them up to be this like really mysterious when he doesn't say he like says sorry when Yvonne tells Anora to look up his dad to be like this is
Mm.
who I am, they make it like they give you the suspense that his family is like super influential and powerful, and then his handlers are just these like totally useless guys who look
Yeah.
intimidating but don't know what they're doing. Uh, I feel like the
Yeah.
car getting towed was definitely a big moment where it was like, oh yeah, like it's movie logic. He can just park wherever he wants. It's like, no, he's not that. He's just some guy.
Yeah. And it's like he drove it off of while it was still attached to the tow truck, and it like kind of ripped off part
Yeah.
of his bumper and stuff. And I was just like, that's perfect. That makes sense. It's hilarious though.
Yeah, it was so good.
We have any ideas for another movie?
I think all of my notes I have are from you guys from the last one. I don't think I have anything new at the moment. But I honestly have been like, I haven't looked at anything lately.
Yeah, nothing new from me.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't see a lot for this month that's new. The fucking Minecraft movie.
Oh, you guys heard about like people trashing the theaters because of like they'll take I don't know, pretty much like anything that Jack Black says in the movie, and they'll just like wait for a specific line, and then all like the teenagers that go see it just start freaking out, and then they'll like toss popcorn all over the place, throw their drinks on the floor, and
Heck,
they're just like, yeah, it's like a big thing. And like theaters now are trying to figure out ways to prevent that from happening, but it's just like teenagers being assholes at the movie theater.
Wow.
I don't even get what is the bit. Just I don't even get the bit is.
They'll just wait for Jack Black to say a specific thing, and they'll be like, "Yeah, he said it. He said the thing," and then they'll just go nuts and just make a mess.
Ugh,
So,
gross.
kids these days.
Fucking teenagers.
I like when I worked at the movie theater, there are definitely a lot of people who did that, but not to the extent that it seems like they're doing it now. Like I've seen some videos of like some of the people who work in the theaters now, and they'll just it's absolutely crazy. Let me see if I can try to find some photos for you guys or videos.
That's so crazy to me because like I mean, we've always smuggled like candy and stuff in, but even then, like you always take your garbage out. Like I've never felt inclined to leave my shit in the movie theaters.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always weird because it's like, yeah, the theaters have like people to clean up after whatever, but it's like there are
There's like
garbages right
there's trash
outside.
cans. Yeah.
Yeah, but when I worked there, you'd be surprised how many people would just straight up leave their drinks in the holders and just walk out. Like I mean, you pass by, you have to pass by
Yeah.
garbage, but they'll just leave it right there. Or the amount of times I've seen like when I worked there, like upturned uh large buckets of popcorn, just like as if they didn't even need anything out of it. They just bought it just to be an asshole and just
Oh,
upturn it, put it on the
Mhm.
ground, and that's it. And there's just a pile of popcorn in the bucket there, and they'll just be like, haha, the movie theater people have to clean up. And I'm like, you just wasted your money to do that.
so shitty.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen
We
some videos too where it's like the kids will bring like rolls of toilet paper, which is wild. But like, because I feel like nowadays like toilet paper is like, oh shit, you gotta keep that. But they'll like take rolls and they'll like throw it at the screen when Jack Black says
Whoa.
whatever line they're waiting for. Yeah, they like absolutely trash the place.
You
I,
don't know what the line is?
is it the I've been seeing chicken
Chicken
jockey all
jockey.
over the
There it
internet.
is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Chicken jockey. Hmm. I don't get it.
I don't know, man.
Well, it's been all over the place because uh did you guys see that 4chan got taken down? It got hacked and is down and maybe is down forever. But apparently the
Oh.
last post anybody made on it was a picture of Jack Black and it says chicken jockey and then it broke. So I've been seeing a lot of the references lately and I thought it was just that. I didn't realize it was also like a theater thing.
Oh, that's terrible. Okay. Oh, that's so gross. This one, I found it looks like it's might be like some people like threw shakes or drinks around in this one part of the theater.
Oh no, just the thumbnail already.
Yeah.
Why? That's so wild.
Yeah, who told them to do this?
Like I don't I don't get it.
Hmm.
I'm
It's
just
like
an
a
old
worse.
lady. I don't get it.
It's just like a worse version of like, cause like what was it Rocky Horror Picture Show? Like that's a thing, but that's like a
Mm.
scheduled event. Like that has its own time, and you are expected to do that kind of shit. But like, oh, that's so gross.
It is.
Jack Black would be disappointed.
So 4chan just got taken down because it broke because people were talking about that line.
No, like it got hacked. It got taken
Oh,
down.
I see.
Like it got, I think, effectively destroyed. It's at least down. I think people are
That's
speculating that it
crazy.
might not come back because it's been like properly hacked.
Oh
What does
wow.
that mean? It got
I have
destroyed.
no idea.
That'd be crazy.
It got hacked so good.
Let's see. Users are trading rumors that the site's source code and database were leaked. If any data is leaked, the most sensitive data would likely belong to 4chan's volunteers and moderators and could consist of their login credentials and chat logs. Yeah, I don't know. At the very least, it's definitely down, and I think it has been for like a day. But I don't know much about 4chan to be honest. I just know of its reputation mostly.
Mm.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't know that was still a thing. I thought that was like an old school internet thing.
Yeah, I don't think the people on it have changed, unfortunately.
Do you think there's like young people that go on it though? Like just of the
Uh,
same mindset or whatever?
yeah, probably.
I really
I'm
I
sure.
didn't even think about that. I wish
Yeah.
I was a hacker. That sounds kind of cool. Yeah, I just hacked the website and I got all their data and I'm logged in
Yeah.
and I'm the admin.
No big deal.
I wonder who does that. Like who I know there's people who hack for like a living, like, scam callers, but like who has time to just like hack a website? Seems like a lot of work.
Does seem like a lot of work. I feel like the things that I would want to hack are the things that would be the hardest,
Hmm.
like to make it worth it and to not feel like I'm harming people that don't need to be harmed. Uh, I feel like would just be one, a crime that I would definitely get in trouble for, and two would be definitely the hardest things to hack. I was looking at movies coming out in April, and apparently I don't know anything about this movie except just the cast. It is Michael Cera. Is that his name,
Mm-hmm.
Michael? And he's married to Kristen Stewart.
Hmm.
It's called
Mm-hmm.
Sacramento. Just seems like a weird main character choice. I have no idea if it's good or not. I don't see any reviews.
Sacramento. Following the death of his father, energetic and free spirited Ricky convinces longtime friend Glenn to go on an impromptu road trip from Los Angeles to Sacramento. Yeah, it's an odd pairing. Kristen Stewart and Michael Cera, huh?
Yeah, as
Hmm.
husband and wife.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. And like it was wild to me when, because Michael Cera's Juno, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was so big when we were a kid, and I feel like I was friends with people who were obsessed with that movie, and I was like, I cannot get past the fact that like Michael Cera is so awkward that like any appeal as like a romantic interest is just non-existent for me.
Oh, I love him. I mean, he's awkward, but I feel like it's like charming in a because
Oh,
he's so good. You know what I mean? Like in that movie, especially, he's such a good person
he is a good person,
that
but
it's appealing, that it's attractive. It's like, oh my God. I don't know.
I
Yeah.
can't get over it. He's too weird. He's too weird for me.
I feel like that movie and Napoleon Dynamite, there were a lot of people I
Hmm.
think that had like that was their I don't know. I don't want to say they turned it into like their whole personality, but like
Oh
I
yeah,
knew
absolutely.
people Yeah, it was like I like both of those movies, but they were like it to the extent that I feel like the people that I knew that were into those movies, it was like that was
Hmm.
their shit. Like they worshiped those movies. That and I think there was Garden State was another one. You guys ever seen Garden State? Has Zach Braff or he had directed it. I think he was in it too.
Hmm.
Interesting. I don't know that one.
Yeah, it's got him and Natalie Portman.
Hmm.
And then I think he directed it. And that was another one that I feel like is kind of in the same vein of it was just like different and I don't
Quirky.
know, it's like a little bit quirky and yeah. And people were like, this is my shit. Like I'm gonna talk about this and that's like a majority of what I'm gonna talk about.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a friend in I think it was like 6th grade because I think Napoleon when did Napoleon Dynamite come out? I remember 6th grade he had a Vote for Pedro shirt and that was
Mm.
like he would wear it. Unfortunately, it was 6th grade, so he wore it constantly and it was so gross. I just googled Napoleon. Yep. Yep. I got exactly what you'd expect from that. Yeah, 2004. So it came out like the year before that.
Okay,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, that was his whole personality, and he would,
Mhm.
yeah, he'd like dress like him. He could recite the movie. But he was also 12, so
Mm.
I feel like 12-year-olds make weird personality choices. But yeah, definitely in that category. What's the other? It's the Joseph Gordon-Levitt one. It's like 550 Days of Summer, 500 Days of Summer. It's with
Yeah.
Oh,
uh Zoe Deschanel is I think the main girl.
yeah.
Yeah. I never
I
liked
did
that
like that
one.
one.
Oh. I was gonna say the other two I really did like as a kid, but I never liked that one. But I think I only saw it like once, so
I
it,
really liked that it good. I felt like it did a good job of making it clear that I just immediately forgot his name. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character was like obsessed with her, and it wasn't reciprocated. Like it was, it kind of made it very clear that he was not. He was an unreliable narrator. I think it did a good job of that, and I liked that about it.
mm,
I actually don't think I've ever seen that one.
mm.
I remember it being decent, but it was also 15 years ago.
You know who I get Zoe Deschanel mixed up with? Wow, I'm blanking now. I'm just like seeing the other girl's face, which is just like similar to her face. I'm like, they're the same person. They're not. Dakota, not Fanning, the other Dakota. Dakota
Oh,
Johnson?
50 Shades
Dakota
of Grey girl?
Johnson. Yes. Dakota
Mm,
Johnson. Sometimes I kind of get them mixed up because they got like the dark hair and the bangs and
Mm.
stuff. Um,
yeah.
but I like I yeah, I get them mixed up all the time.
I was gonna say, isn't she the one? There's like two sets of act. Yeah, it is her. Um, Katy Perry. She
Katy
looks,
Perry.
she looks so similar to Katy Perry. Yeah, there was like
Mm,
memes going around a while back of her and a couple of other actresses, but Katy Perry especially. Like here's like this one. I literally didn't
Oh,
even realize it was Katy Perry at first.
oh, and Zoe
yeah.
Deschanel? Or is
Hmm.
that other one Dakota? I don't know.
No, Katy Perry's on the left and it's Zoe Deschanel on the right.
Uh,
You could tell me this was the same person at like maybe the same woman who went to like two different events and she just dressed differently or something and had
Yeah,
different makeup on. Yeah, I didn't realize
yeah.
that.
they look super because I think they just came from like the same era of like getting famous. I think there was like a type for a little while.
Mhm.
Dude, I think about that all the time. That there's like a type in Hollywood for I always think about like
Hmm.
women's faces. I don't know why, not men's. Maybe just because I'm always like comparing. But like yeah, like how like the one I think about when I was younger was like Cameron Diaz, like her
Mm.
face,
Yeah,
and like the really because she had a really wide like wide smile, and like I feel like yeah, I don't know, they just always go through phases where like there's this kind of person that's like pulled into for
yeah, because
movies.
because she looks like, to me, Cameron Diaz always looked kind of like Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah.
I thought they looked very similar, and same, I think, like late 90s, early 2000s, something like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Yeah, we definitely go through like eras of certain things. Because like, what do we have right now? We've got Sydney Sweeney, Sabrina Carpenter.
I was
Um,
thinking Florence Pugh. I feel like there's somebody who looks like
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
her. I don't
hmm
remember.
yeah. I feel like there's definitely been a lot more interesting. I saw an article recently that was talking about, it was talking about veneers. It was talking about teeth and how
Yeah.
like we've gone through a huge wave of all of the celebrities getting veneers, and so like everybody's smiles all look the same, but that very recently there's been a wave of people keeping their natural teeth, and so they've been like becoming more distinct and being standout. So like, what is it? It's like, I think it's like Ayo Edebiri and what's that girl from Sex Education? She's the blonde girl. Amy Lou Wood, like she's got like a very strong overbite, but it's like so distinctive, like you recognize her in everything. I just
Mm-hmm.
know. I think it's been cool. I like that people are doing it because I think it's fun to have people who have very distinct looks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously for the, body positivity stuff, but also I just think people look kind of boring right now, and all of the stars look the same. Because literally, I looked up sex education and I forgot. Emma Mackey's also in that, and she's the one who looks like who's Barbie? Uh,
Margot Robbie.
yeah, she looks just like Margot Robbie.
Oh my God, you're right. I just looked up
Yeah,
Emma Mackey and I was like, this
they're
is
like twins.
Margot. Yeah.
I mean, that was a joke in Barbie. She's one of the Barbies.
Yeah.
Really?
hmm
That's funny.
So I've been enjoying that. I feel like people with more unique like characteristics have been getting more famous because it's just more interesting to watch.
I
One
agree.
of like the when I Google Emma Mackey, like a questions like people also ask when you Google this specific thing, it's like, are Emma Mackey and Margot Robbie related?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's someone else. Oh, because isn't there's someone else who looks just like her too? Literally just an article that says 5 people who look just like Margot Robbie.
Oh, you know who kind of looks like them too? This actress named Samara Weaving. I've seen her in one movie called
Yeah.
Ready or Not, and she's also blonde, and her facial structure looks very similar to theirs.
hmm
Here, let me.
Yeah, I think that might have even been who I was
So
thinking
that's
of.
Samara Weaving, with who I
Mm.
was when I
Yeah.
looked her up. I was like, oh, that's she looks like the other two.
Yep. We need more interesting faces. I
hmm
was thinking about that recently, watching like 90s movies and stuff. I
Yeah.
feel like especially the men, like there's definitely been this wave of just like really generic looking. I feel like people make fun of The Bachelor all the time as the example of like a lineup of 10 dudes who all look exactly the same.
hmm
Uh, but then you go back and watch like a 90s rom-com or something like that, and they're just like they have such interesting faces, and I don't know. I think it's cool that they're just so much more. I think I'm bad at faces. I think that's part of it. I think I have an easier time remembering who people are if they're like more distinctive. But
Yeah. But it's also just like, I think it is more fun. Like, I like people more when they are, like, in the movies. I like the characters more if they don't look super bland. It's kind of like the Marvel movie thing where it's like,
yeah.
watching a Marvel movie doesn't feel like real because it's just so, like, I don't know, generic.
Yeah, so I was just curious. I was just looking up like recent award winners for actors. Adrian Brody, he's so interesting to look at. He's got such a cool face. I don't think he's like traditionally handsome, like, but I think he's just like very interesting to look at.
Yeah, he's handsome. But yeah, he's like not he's not samey looking, which
Yeah.
is what you're talking about. Man, but then then again, like I feel like there'll be some funny looking dudes that get famous because I feel like women don't care about like samey looks as much as they care about like other stuff, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like the worst one lately has been Glenn Powell being in everything. He's
He's like
fine.
the he looks like all the
Oh my
dudes on
god.
The Bachelor.
Yeah.
Like
I hate
he
hate
looks
that
like
face.
all those people are like his clone. He was a clone of all those other people.
Yeah. He fed
Like when
all
I
of their
think about
pictures.
yeah, like when I think of dudes on The Bachelor, I think of that guy.
Yeah.
I didn't
He's
even know who that
fine.
was.
I feel like he was in like a ton of stuff for like 3 years, and I haven't seen him since last year now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just kind of blends in. He is funny though, at least. Yeah, speaking of celebrities, I have one note from when we were gonna record 2 weeks ago. Uh, and unfortunately things have progressed. So I guess have you guys ever gotten into something ironically and then unfortunately tricked yourself into liking it and then
Yeah.
like sincerely become a fan?
Probably, yeah.
So like 3 weeks ago, so just before we were gonna record, I started getting all of these reels for Baby No Money. He just started showing up
Oh,
everywhere. And I was
Yeah,
like,
that
same.
dude.
who the fuck is this guy? And so
Mhm.
like I started like looking at watching some because they were like kind of funny. So I'd watch one of the
Yeah.
reels and then of course it'd send me 50 more.
Mhm.
And then I was like, oh, you know, his like this one song's kind of catchy. And so I listened to that one a couple of times. And now I was like, oh, I'm gonna clean the house. I'm listening to Baby No Money. I'm like, fuck, I don't know what's happened. I'm listening to the most like he's just like he reminds me of Pitbull. Like his vibe is kind of like that. My
I
note
see
from
it.
2 weeks ago was who the fuck is Baby No Money and where did he come from? And now I'm like, God damn it, now I get it.
I see it. I know what you're talking about with the pit bull.
It just
Yeah.
seems like he's having a good time,
Yeah.
just goofing around, doing cosplay.
Yeah,
Good
I
for
saw him
him.
I follow on Instagram I follow this page. You guys probably maybe have seen him before, but it's this page where it's like these two guys in Shibuya in Japan where they just like interview
Yes.
random people and they'll just come through and just have like the strangest interviews with people.
Yes. I've
And it's
seen that
either
you
like
like those videos. Like I'll see those videos. I'm like, oh yeah, she watches these too.
yeah, they're so weird and have you seen that, Hannah?
I have no idea what you're talking
All
about.
right, so then I'll just send you one of them at least
He's
cuz
fucking
they're
everywhere.
yeah, and he's in one of them too. He showed
Yeah.
up there. And that's like one of the ones I saw more recently, but I think it was like a few weeks ago maybe. Tokyo Sims is the name of the Instagram page.
Yeah, I was
But
thinking about it again this morning because
um,
he popped up. Do you guys? I think I've sent them to Tony. It's that guy who looks like he's like a youth pastor, and he's always like sitting in the lawn. And he's like, send this to a friend who blah blah blah, and he's got like the graphics over it. Usually they're really goofy and like making fun of people, so I always send them to Tony. Um, he was in one of those. And it was like the caption was like people waiting for my Hatsune Miku. I can't say her name. Hatsune Miku or
mm,
Miko.
I think
Miku.
it's
Sorry,
Miku.
I sound really old right now. Waiting for my cosplay of her, and it's him and this random guy who looks like a Mormon running around out in a field. It's like what's happening? What is he doing out there? But he's just living his best life.
Yeah. Yeah, let me see if I could add this one to the Discord.
No.
Do you want one?
Are you offering?
Are you receiving?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are
like
all of his interviews that awkward?
Yeah, pretty much. It's
he's not
like a good majority of them.
he's not always dressed up like that though.
Yeah. It's like it's either he is asking really like leading strange questions or like cuz people they're famous now for just having strange people on. So I think that people will just seek them out and have like weird shit ready like locked and loaded to say. So they just hang around Shibuya and just wait. Like people will just call them out now. They'll be like, "Hey, I want an interview."
That's wild.
Yeah.
I didn't know what Riley was talking about when she said he's not dressed like that. The one you sent me on Instagram was not that one.
Yeah,
I
no,
was
I
like, he
meant to
looks
send you a
totally
different
normal.
one. Yeah. I sent you just like one of their pinned ones and then the one
Yeah.
Discord is a different one.
What a crazy guy. But yeah, I don't usually fall for that trap of like I've definitely picked up slang that way of like saying things as a joke and then it accidentally becomes a real part of my like vocabulary, but I don't feel like I've ever done that to myself with like music or things to watch or anything. Like I don't do stuff ironically, so I've never this has never happened to me before.
I don't think I've heard one of his like songs besides like clips on TikTok or Instagram or whatever, so I'll have to check them out. But they seemed normal. They seemed entertaining. I don't think it
Yeah.
I don't think it should
They're
be.
mostly goofy.
It seems like a good thing to listen to, I think.
Yeah. He's got one that's like actually a song. I'm sure he's got others, but specifically it's like meant to be. And it's actually like it's pretty good. It's not, the rest of them are like his goofy off the cuff rapping type stuff, but yeah, now my Spotify is like, "Oh, you want to listen to one of his songs?" It's like this is nothing like the rest of the playlist, so I don't know why this is getting thrown in, but I guess this is what I'm listening to now.
Oh, speaking of Spotify, I didn't realize that there was a limit. So there are audiobooks on Spotify, and I have a
Mm.
premium Spotify account. I didn't realize that there was a limit to how many hours you can listen to audiobooks. And
Mhm.
I was like, well, that sucks because I listened to like 15 of 6 chapters of an audiobook.
Oh.
And then there was just like the Spotify person came on and was just like, hey, you've reached your audiobook limit. And then they just cut it off. And I was like, what? I was pissed. And then I looked it up and they're just like, yeah, there's like 15-hour limit. And I was like, I did not know that. I just figured since I paid premium that I would just, get it limited to everything. But yeah. And then I looked up the additional price and it was like $13 more for 10 more hours
Oh.
of listening. I was like, that's not worth it.
Mm-mm.
For 10
I'm just
hours?
10
They
hours,
like
dude,
limit it by
13
the
more
hour?
dollars. Yeah, man.
What the hell?
I was like, this is crazy.
That's
I'm being
wild.
sneaky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I didn't even know. I feel like they're trying to break into the audiobook market because I didn't even know they did that. I feel like Tino always used Audible for
Yeah.
audiobooks, and I think that's a pretty. Actually, I don't know how much a month it is. It could be close to 13, but it's not
You
limited
get
by hour.
I was gonna say you guys should get not to totally promote them, but just get Libby.
Yeah, I've
Libby.
got Libby.
Mm-hmm. You can sign up for it's New York City Public Library and Brooklyn Public Library, and I think Queens also. You can sign up for their libraries online. They'll give you a library card code, and then you just plug it in, and then that way you've got multiple libraries as well. So like if something's got a big backlog or a big wait list, um, usually one of them has it coming up in the next like week or two, and there's no limits.
Oh,
I got Ben
very
into it.
cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
And you can do your
super nice.
local library too.
Yeah.
Like I've
Yeah.
got my local library.
Yeah, you can have them all going, and then like if you search a book, you can click on the like waitlist button, and it'll show you the waitlist for all of your library cards. So then you can
Mhm.
choose between them. Yeah, I went to finally get a library card in my city, and the librarian that I talked to was like, "Oh, well, you've got a New York City one." And I was like, "No, I'm not from there. Like, I don't go there very often." And she's like, "Just do it online." She's like, "Honestly, just sign up wherever online. If they let you sign up online," she's like, "I've got like 50 different library cards because I just look around at big cities on their websites, and if they let me sign up, I do." I was like, "Okay." She's like, "Just lie about where you live. Just tell them you live in their city." I guess. I mean, I'm not reading that many books. It's not that much of a problem. She was
Just
funny. I liked her.
lie.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Reminds me of like my English teacher when I was a kid. I don't remember what I was asking about, but I like went to go ask her something like, "Is it okay if I do this?" And it was like something that was against the rules, and she was like, "Riley, sometimes it's better to what is it? Ask forgiveness than to ask permission." And I was like, "Oh
Yeah.
shit, that's crazy."
I always loved that being like a retail person. That was my favorite when people would be like, "Am I allowed to do this?" I was like, "No, but I'm going to forget that we've talked about this and don't tell me about it later."
Yeah. Like when
I
I
love
worked at the
that.
movie theater, some people would try to be honest and stuff. They'd be like, "Hey, listen, I just went to Five Below." I'd be like, "And I didn't hear anything. You're in theater 5. Go
Yep.
ahead." it's very cold out. You have a large jacket on to cover yourself. Nothing else. So enjoy your movie.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. Like, concession is so crazy overpriced. I do the same thing. Like, when I
Mhm.
worked there and I had free movies, I would go. There was a Five Below, like a couple stores away from the theater I worked at. I stopped in, went to my theater, got a free movie, and I would fucking bust out the candy I bought at the Five Below that I bought for way cheaper than I would have if I actually went to the concession stand and bought it. Because it'd be like
Yep.
$6 for like a fucking a
Not even a
water or
share
some
size
shit.
of M&Ms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do
Dude,
not blame you.
we went to go see Mickey 17. We went with a couple of our friends, and I usually, if we get like candy ahead of time or I'm like smoking stuff in, I have like a bag of candy or like a single drink or something. I don't bring a lot in personally. We sat down and those guys just started like every single pocket. They're like, you want this? You want this? We've got chips. We've got like, they just kept pulling out more and more stuff and like dispersing it across the six of us. It's like, you guys aren't like even trying to be sneaky about this. Like, we literally just have like a tray of food in front of us right now.
That's
They brought
crazy.
so much stuff.
Did you have the people walk through? Because I think they might have done it either when I was working in the theater or maybe a little bit afterwards. But they typically have like someone come and walk through, like I think every half hour, to check like if someone's in the theater that shouldn't be or something, which you only really catch if it's in like an emptier theater rather than a busier one.
Yeah.
But did you have people come through, and did they even
Not
really
really.
say
I think
anything?
someone came in towards the beginning, and even that I think was more just to make sure. I think it was probably like just a quick head count. They didn't like walk through. I saw them walk in, kind of like look around, and then they walked back out.
Yeah.
But I think
Sometimes I would.
I think our area is too big and busy. I don't think that they're gonna make a big
Yeah.
deal about it.
Because I remember, like, towards the end of when I worked in the theater, that was like the thing. We'd have to go and check and make sure that people weren't like hopping theaters or whatever.
Mhm.
And like kids weren't in R-rated movies or something by themselves and stuff like that. But there'd be tons of times I see people do exactly that. They'll have a ton of shit that they clearly did not get from our concession
Yeah.
stand, because I'll see it like it's just so much. It's just because it'll be like on a weekday or a slow Sunday, early morning and stuff like that. And you'll notice that they didn't buy that from the theater or whatever, and then I won't say anything. I don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah. No, our friend, it felt like they distributed their tasks because our one friend had, I think, 3 sparkling waters in his pockets.
Hmm.
And
Nice.
he like pulled those out and handed them out, which had to have come from home. He didn't buy those out of the store. Like, he just brought them with him to the movie theater.
That's
Yeah.
a good idea. Because I'm drinking,
Yeah.
a giant soda, and like sparkling water would be honestly way nicer.
Yeah. No, they don't even check. Like, I brought my water bottle in. They don't check that stuff anymore. At least not,
Mm-mm.
and then not the one near us.
Yeah. There's too much work. I mean, and I feel like, are you really gonna be that guy to be like,
Yeah.
hey, hey, that's not from our theater. You better go to the concession stand right now. Throw that shit out. Like, who's really gonna? Come on now. You're so lame if you do that. Jeez.
Um, Speaking of movies, The Woman in the Yard came out yesterday, apparently.
The woman in the yard.
The Woman in the Yard.
The boy
I've
in
heard
the attic.
The Woman Next Door. I've been hearing bad things about it. I haven't heard that it's good.
No,
I'm
yeah, I
not
could have
surprised.
guessed, but still,
Yeah.
I wish it was better than it looked. Now I want to read reviews, so that sounds funny. Reading reviews of bad movies. People always go so
What's
ham.
Ooh. Yeah, there's an almost equal amount of 5 stars to 1 stars. That's crazy.
I do feel like one thing I keep thinking when I'm watching movies lately is just like that they're going slow. And I don't know if that's just I did watch, although I did see, I think there's 2 movies I watched recently. One was Ref, you were mentioning it, and my brother had recommended it, and what was it called? It sounded like another movie I had seen, but I didn't. Oh, The Heretic with the Hugh Grant.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
That one I didn't think was slow. That one was entertaining. But I also watched, Tina made me watch Jason Statham's newest movie, which is horrible.
Oh, The Beekeeper, or is there another
No,
one?
we watched The Beekeeper, and this new one was worse than
How
The
is there another
Beekeeper.
one?
It's called
What's this newest one?
It's called The Working Man, and I think Tino wanted to see it because he works at, like, construction sites, and he was like, "Oh, this is gonna be hilarious! Like, there's gonna be construction site themed action." But it wasn't like, it had nothing to do with being at a construction. Like, it started at a construction site, and then the rest of the movie had nothing to do with that, and it just became like, I don't know, like Russian mob movie or something.
I love the idea of going in being like, I'm ready for construction site themed action.
No, like that's what he was hoping for. He said like the next day, him and his coworkers like were writing action scenes together. They're like, yeah, like he could have done this, like, you know what I mean? Like thinking of all the cool shit you could do in an action movie.
Apparently, Sylvester Stallone co-wrote the script.
Yeah, I think we saw his name in the credits, and we were like, you didn't. He's old as hell too, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
He's getting up there.
It was
That's
stupid.
crazy.
78.
Oof.
Dude, what is he doing with his life? Apparently, sorry, so I just found a list of most recent movies. And in 2023, he did Meg 2, which is like a giant shark movie.
Yeah, Meg. I hate those.
Oh my god.
They feel like the AI wrote them. I watched parts of, I don't know,
They
it was 1
have
or
to
2,
be.
but it was so like, what is happening right now?
Tony was telling me he watched the first one and he was laughing so hard. And I was like, what's, because he was watching it, like sometimes he'll watch it while he's doing something else, just like while we're in the office together. And then he was laughing. I was like, what's so funny over there? He's like, this Meg movie. I was like, the Big Shark movie.
Meg.
And he was
Big
like,
Shark?
yeah. He was like, yeah, don't you will hate it. Don't watch
It's so bad.
it.
That's crazy. What are these? What are these movies? What does this man do with his life? How does he make money off of this?
I have no idea.
Sorry. This article is titled "How to Tell If You're Watching a Good Jason Statham Movie or a Bad Jason Statham Movie." I think they're all kind of bad, aren't they? That's the point.
Beekeeper was pretty funny. Like, it was like, he literally, I told you guys about this. He says to be or not to be. That's like amazing. That's on brand.
The subtitle of this article is "You're goddamn right. There's a difference."
They already read you.
They knew what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I was like, I need to know this. I wonder,
so
did they write it after? They did. They wrote it after Working Man came out.
This is new. Yeah, this article came out like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, they probably watched it. We're like, this one fucking blows.
Oh, I need to subscribe. Oh, lame. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
I don't need to know their thoughts on Jason Statham that badly.
I don't know if I mentioned it here during one of our previous episodes, but there was a movie he was in called Spy with Melissa McCarthy, where she's like, she used to be like a handler or something, and then she like got promoted to being a field agent, and Jason Statham was in it as a fellow field agent, and he was like playing almost like a parody of himself, but he was still just Jason Statham. And
Yeah.
so like I can't find the clip of it. I'm sure if I look harder I could find it, but I found the quote of it. But he's like, he's in this conference room with Melissa McCarthy, and she's talking about like, put me in the field, like you know, I know what to do, like I've been these people's handlers forever, like I have experience. And he's just like, you really think you're ready for the field? I once used defibrillators on myself. I put shards of glass in my fucking eye. I've jumped from a high-rise building using only a raincoat as a parachute and broke both legs upon landing. I've swallowed enough microchips and shit them back out again to make a computer. This arm has been ripped off completely and reattached with this fucking arm.
It's crazy.
Oh, yeah,
At
I
least
love
he's
it when he's
self-aware.
in. Yeah, I love it when he's in movies that are not Jason Statham movies. I think he's so funny.
He was also really hilarious to me, and I mean, I don't know if he was supposed to be, but I just thought it was funny. He was in at least one of those Fast and Furious movies because they did a spin-off with him and The Rock later.
Mhm.
But I just completely would forget. Like I'd be watching because whatever, which I'm sure all of the Fast and Furious movies are long, but I feel like I've only seen like 3 of them, which I feel like is a lot more than I thought I would ever see. But I remember the one I saw him in. He'd show up, fuck some shit up, make some chaos, and then leave. And then you would forget because all this other stuff would happen. And then they'd like pan the camera real quick. And then who is it? Jason Statham. He's back again. He's back to fuck more shit up. He's got like an automatic rifle with him and he's just gonna start shooting. And like shit's gonna start breaking, glasses breaking, everything's breaking. And then he disappears again. More stuff happens. And then what do you know? It's Jason Statham again. And this time he has a tank. I don't know. Like it's just it's so he's so funny, like unintentionally funny.
He is also living his best life.
Gotta be. All right, well, do you guys want to pick a movie for our next watch?
Sure.
Do we have a specific genre in mind? We could probably pick something too that like one of us has seen it and the would suggest to the others too. If you guys have any of those, we could try to go back to horror.
I never remember what this is about. The Companion was one that was coming out this year. That might be it. Yeah, it came out at the end of January. Did you end up watching that?
Yeah, that's the one I saw.
You saw that? Okay.
Yeah, that was yeah, that's the one I saw. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I'd be down to watch that.
Okie doke. I think that brings us to time. Have any other topics to discuss before we wrap?
I don't think so.
Particular. I saw a kid driving home today. It was raining or snowing, whatever you want to call it, riding an electric scooter and eating a full grilled cheese. So driving with one hand in the rain, eating a grilled cheese. That's all I got. I was just really impressed.
On a scooter, one-handed? That is impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yep. Getting stoked.
With the cheese getting soaked.
Yeah. It really made an impression on me.
You're like,
That's all.
Cruising. Alrighty. Well, until next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.